hub of news and information in South Florida. And we've got a special show for you today. If you couldn't tell by the hat, this is our Christmas extravaganza, as we like to call it. And today we're going to ask the age-old question, or we'll hopefully get that answered. What is it like being a Jew during Christmas? I know we've all wondered about it. You could switch to that camera now if you like. I know that we've all wondered about it, and with that, we figured we would bring in our very own super Jew, Michael. Michael, thanks for joining us here during the Andy Korge Show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, it's
so
good.
Happy to be here.
It's good to have you. And you all might recognize Michael. He hosts a weekly show here at Miami Community News, Ask the Professional. And I called Michael Miller here at Miami Community News a couple days ago and said, you know, people wonder what it's like being a Jew during Christmas. And I said, you know, we need a super Jew. We need somebody who can really give us that perspective. And Michael over here, Ask the Professional, is the person that Grant Miller immediately pointed to. And so I want to ask you a few questions. And then, Michael, I have a surprise guest that is going to be zooming in today from a very northern location. Oh. And we're going to get into a little banter with him about Christmas and so forth. So, you know, first off, happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
And I know that Hanukkah just ended, a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago?
Last week. Yeah.
Last week, yes. Yeah. And so, you know, that was a great and obviously a great festive occasion for people of the Hebrew faith. You know, you celebrated Hanukkah, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And so when Hanukkah ends, then what happens?
For me?
Yes.
Go on, you know, go on with the day, go on with our life, you know, continue, you know, life really.
Okay. Okay. So you Hanukkah ends and Christmas begins.
Usually, yeah, that seems to be how it
that's how it goes.
Happens.
That's how it happens every year.
Yeah.
And so, what happens with you? I mean, do you celebrate? Well, let me ask the obvious question: is there a tree, a Christmas tree, fully decorated in Michael's home? No. So no tree. But do you know a lot of maybe Jewish people that does occur?
I personally don't. I know that there are some that, you know, choose to celebrate and have a tree in their house. You know, I think everybody's decision of how they practice and what is important to them in their religion is all different. So
right.
I think it's a very personal thing for everybody.
So as the self-proclaimed, and I don't know that you're necessarily self-proclaimed, but at least Michael Miller proclaims you as South Florida Super Jew. Are you offended by Jewish people that put up a Christmas tree in their home?
I have a problem, you know, for me, religion, I like to follow the orthodoxy version.
Okay.
So it's not part of that teaching. And I know everybody has their own path to God and the choices that they make. And you know, you can't judge people for what they do. You know, you have to let people, you know, do what's important to them and what they grew up with, maybe what their personal customs are.
Well, that's very open-minded of you. I wish everyone in our world would be as open-minded. So there's no exchange of presents with any of your significant others. You do all that during the 8 days of Hanukkah, correct?
Well, actually, Hanukkah, if you follow orthodoxy, isn't a time of giving gifts.
No?
No. There's a celebration halfway through of giving, well, now it's chocolate gelt, little, you know, chocolates that are stamped like money, which actually is sort of teaching children, because you use that gelt and then you use it as what's called tzedakah, which is charity.
Okay.
So it's a time to have charity. I think maybe the gift giving part is part of an American
Tradition.
Yeah.
Wow, sounds like your kids are getting shortchanged a little bit here. And any of the other Christmas parties, do you celebrate? I mean, we've tried to make it kind of agnostic in the United States, where everyone's wishing happy holidays. But I know some people of and that's typically what I do, because I want to respect people's beliefs.
Right.
But there are people, and I know some people that really believe it's all about Christmas, and they go around wishing people happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, maybe sending Christmas cards to people. How do you sort of embrace that when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, Michael, Merry Christmas"? What goes through your head?
I think it's nice, it's nice to be acknowledged. It's somebody being kind, you generally to somebody else. But, really, I mean, 70% of the world's population this day has no significance for. So, I think it's Jewish isn't the only religion. The majority of the religions as a whole, this day and time doesn't have a significance for.
Right.
So really, it's kind of like, what is it? Is it something that you celebrate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And does it have a spiritual and a religious significance for you?
Well, yeah, it does. I grew up as a Catholic, a Roman Catholic, practicing, went to school, Catholic school, throughout my first 12 years of schooling. And so, yeah, it always had significance for us. I think that as a young kid, the significance was more, hey, I'm getting a bunch of presents on December 25th. I'm going to wake up that morning, and there's going to be a loot full of stuff that I'm going to rip open and enjoy, Yeah. So, but, you learn the religious significance, the birth of Jesus Christ, that sort of thing. And you celebrate that.
Right.
But generally speaking, for most people probably in the world, it's more about the fun of it all, the pomp and circumstance, if you will, the tree, the decorations, the lights, the presents, the parties, all that sort of thing. Right. No lights out in front of the Michael house, right? No.
Just security lights.
Security lights. Well, we need that too, especially with all that stuff in your house during Christmas. But I sort of think of those little Jewish kids that are not getting all those presents, and I wonder what that might be like. Do they feel left out a little as a kid? As a young kid, you celebrated Hanukkah but not Christmas?
I grew up here in Miami. It was very secular. My growing up, there wasn't any real specific. We sort of celebrated everything.
Okay.
And a little bit of a sense of it. As I've grown, I've chosen to, understand my heritage and follow through with, the traditions that the Judaism teaches. I don't, what do Muslim kids feel bad when they don't get presents on Christmas?
I don't know. We should have do we have any Muslims in the house by any chance?
Do Hindus, do Sikhs, do, Taoists, really Christmas isn't celebrated on really the Indian continent, the African continent, the Asian continent.
Right.
I guess it's really depends on where you grow up. America seems to have a sense of tradition, and the traditions change by what area you live in, so it's really, I think it's hard to generalize that. And what is the importance of presents to you?
To me?
Yeah, what is that?
It's new clothes.
The excitement of you shared with me the excitement. Oh, you're going to get all this stuff.
Right.
Well, what does that have a significance of a spiritual or meaning to you as a child?
No, not really. No, it was really a significance of getting presents. Right. And probably with most kids, it's about, wow, these presents are under the tree. Now, my mother and father tried to teach us the significance of that. but at the end of the day, we're very, as a kids, very guttural. I think we think about just what makes us happy and what makes us feel good, and so I think that's really what the significance of it to me was during that time.
Yeah.
I just wondered, as a Jewish person, and we're doing this kind of tongue in cheek, obviously,
Right.
but as a Jewish person, I wonder, like, is there that certain awkwardness as you maneuver through the world during the Christmas season that, hey, this isn't something that I really embrace, but I guess you kind of do embrace it in the spirit of, just giving and fellowship and that sort of thing. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it would sort of be like me being in India during Diwali, which the whole country celebrates. It's this giant, magnificent festival and celebration that almost the entire Indian continent celebrates.
Right.
It's not something that I've ever celebrated. I've seen it on TV. It's very colorful and things happening. So it would probably be new, something new.
Okay.
Yeah, everything.
Well, we have a couple guests with us. One joining us here, our very own Michael Miller, Miami Community
Mr.
News.
Miller.
Hey, how are you, Michael? Andy?
Michael.
So I've been listening and from all throughout the building on my phone and onto my desktop. So I'm going to explain my experience of being raised as a Unitarian. Parents were Jewish.
Okay.
Right? But when they turned 18, that's it. They were done with Judaism, became Unitarian. So I always grew up with Christmas. It had zero religious implications. None.
Right.
None.
Right. Zero.
It's like, it took me a long time. I go, I wonder if they knew Christ was in there. For us, it was a big celebration time to get together. And that's where the fatness begins and all the gifts. And then I married my wife, Susan, who at age 35 was bar mitzvahed. And she went and studied that.
At 35.
35.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even older.
Okay.
And so
she wasn't grown up in she did.
But she didn't. When we got married, all right, her parents said, what religion are the kids going to be? That's her first question. I said, I don't know, Susan, what religion the kid's going to be? She said, Jewish. Okay. All right. But as I was growing up in high school, people would wish me happy Hanukkah. And I go, why are they saying that to me? All right. We had Christmas this, Christmas that. Again, no religious intonation at all. And then through the years, the Christmas tree kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then one year, this is about 25 years ago, I said, let's go get some lights, the sparkly ones. She says, oh, the store's not open today. Then finally, after about 2 weeks, I figured out she didn't want it. Now the kids are growing up. They're being raised Jewish. To me, I wanted a Christmas tree. I said, how about we do a deal? We'll do a little Christmas tree and Hanukkah. No Christmas tree. So the first couple of years, it was tough. Now I go, this is great. I can avoid all that stuff. All right. I don't have to give squat to anybody. It's just going to be us in that religious setting. Certainly for me, with Hanukkah, that is a religious setting rather than for Christmas was none.
It was none.
And so, I'm thankful for my wife that she did this because our kids are pretty stable, at this point. And for me, being on both sides of that issue, and my wife reminds me because my mother's Jewish, therefore I am, but I look at it a little bit differently as far as practicing. And I didn't really know what religion was, and I'm still not 100% clear, all right? So for me, being in both those worlds, certainly I miss the Christmas spirit that I used to have, which would start, in the early December. And now with Happy Holidays, I never know which one to do.
Exactly,
and
yes.
So I wish somebody Merry Christmas. It was a guy named Rick. I meant to send it to one Rick. The other guy knew was Jewish. He writes back, should I sing a Hanukkah song to you, Michael? I think we're so politically correct, and I think people are sort of sick of it, right? Which is just say whatever you want to, and if somebody gets offended, well, too bad. What are you gonna?
Yeah, no matter if you say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, it's done in the spirit of love during
Yeah.
the holiday season, I believe, right? And so it shouldn't really matter. I agree with you. But hey, guys, I have a special treat for the both of you today.
Okay.
As you could tell by this hat, and can you go back on that camera shot there, Tommy? As you could tell by this hat, it's Will Ferrell from Elf, and it says, Santa, I know him. And I'm wearing this for a specific purpose, and that is because I do know Santa. I really do. Old Saint Nick is going to join us right now here on the Andy Korge Show at Miami Community News. The only place, by the way, I know of that the actual authentic Santa Claus will appear during this holiday season. And Tommy, can we bring up, there he is, Old Saint Nick. Santa. Hey, Santa, how are you, buddy?
Hello, little Andy Korge. How are you? And before we go anywhere, shalom to Michael. Happy Hanukkah to you, sir, and to Mike Miller. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, we're doing good over here.
What does it feel like, Santa, being on a show with two Jews? I mean, how does that work?
Well, Andy, if the truth be known, I'm also Jewish. I'm in the wholesale business. I'm in wholesale toys.
Andy feel being on the show with three Jews.
If the truth be known, Santa is Jewish. I'm in wholesale toys. Andy, what do you think?
I forgot you're a wholesaler. So
that's right.
I really appreciate you joining us today, Santa, because, you know, I know you're really busy. I mean, tomorrow night is a huge night for you.
Oh, let me tell you something. I am so busy. Thank God I have sleighs all over the world. And when I'm done with one, I get in the other, and Rudolph and I and all the reindeer, we take off for the next destination. But when it comes to certain areas, I use the modern conveniences of a jet airliner.
Oh, you do? A jet airliner?
Right. And because of the magic of Santa, I can drop all the stuff and it lands exactly where all the boys and girls from 0 to 100 get all the toys and presents from Santa and his workshop.
So I'm curious, Santa, do you have...
And by the way, would you quit leaving me milk and cookies? I'm a grown man. Alcohol does just fine.
Okay. Well, we do get that. So Santa, I know you have a naughty and a nice list.
Oh.
Right? Can you give us a sort of just a quick overview on some of the people that are on your nice list and on your naughty list this year?
Well, Michael Grant is on my good list.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What do we got going there?
Well, remember when you were 10 years old and you asked for a blow-up doll and I wasn't able to come through, but this year, Santa's found you the most magnificent blow-up doll. Just don't wear it out right away.
Hey, well, thank you so much for thinking.
That's some good advice. How about who's on the naughty list? Would David Winker be on the naughty list by any chance?
David Winker is on the naughty list. Every time he calls me, I'm with Mrs. Claus, and it's a David Winker again, constantly calling me. I say, David, I don't get much time with Mrs. Claus. How about laying off the phone? But there's another person that's on the naughty list. Okay. His name is Andy Korge.
Uh-oh. I am this year? I thought I was good.
Well, according to Mrs. Korge, not so good.
I heard that also.
You know?
Yes, and Santa, quickly so everyone knows, a winker is a phrase that we've coined here on the Andy Korge Show on the Community News, and it refers to being interrupted during lovemaking. And so that would be known as a winker. He did that to you too, Santa?
Oh, how he got my number, I don't know, but he constantly calls to find out if he's going to get this or that for Christmas, and can I do this and can I do that? He's pestering me as much as Donald Trump does.
Oh no, that's really bad.
And speaking of somebody on the naughty list, quicker we get him out of the White House, the quicker I'm going to be a happier Santa, because he wouldn't even let me in the White House.
I didn't know you were political, Santa.
Oh, I'm not that political, but I feel for the pain of the American people and for the people all over the world. That's why Christmas brings people together. I am like the Goyim Jesus. I bring people together. Michael, you tell them. Yeah, I mean, listen, you and me and Mike, we're all Jews. Andy's the outsider here.
Well, Santa,
hold on a second. Santa's got to have a little liquid libation. Hold on a second here. Okay.
So
I'm all
Santa,
set.
tell us, we were debating before you came on to the show here this morning.
were?
We were debating about really what's the meaning of Christmas. And can you help explain that to us?
The true meaning of Christmas is people getting together and remembering the birth of the most wonderful man that ever walked the face of the earth. It's also a time for families to heal. It's a time for people to heal. It's a time for all of us to rejoice with what we should be doing 364 days out of the year. It is a time for all of us to come together as brothers and sisters and remember that we are all, including Santa, children of God. And God would not want us arguing and fighting the way we have for centuries. But Christmas is the time that we remember. Now, we're not sure when Jesus was born. We're not sure if it was in the fall or in the spring, but we come together in remembrance of him. And whether you're Jewish or Muslim or Christian, you come together as one and you honor the remembrance of the man. And if you're not a believer in Jesus as the Christ, that you believe he was a rabbi, you still remember the works that he did. And we come together as family. We rejoice. We are happy. It is not a time to think about what I didn't get or what I did get or how much I didn't give this person or all this other glitter and glamour. That's not what these holidays are about. I know Santa brings joy to children. That's fine. And I love it. Oh, do I love it. But the bottom line is we all need to come together as one, love and respect and honor each other for who we are, regardless of your color of your skin, your religion, what you politically believe and don't believe. We're not enemies. We are all children of God.
Well, and well said, Santa. Thank you for putting it in great perspective.
Thank you.
So I know the next day, through tomorrow night, you're going to be extremely busy. But I wonder what happens once Christmas is here. All those toys are under the tree. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gotten there. The little kids have gotten their presents. Yes. Santa's done his job. What happens after Christmas? What will you be up to this year once Christmas is over?
Well, usually I take off all the regalia except for the beard. I can't get rid of that. That's part of who I am. And I go off on vacation, usually with Mrs. Claus. But this year, I'm doing something very special for me. And Mrs. Claus is going off somewhere on her own with some of her friends. But I'm doing something very special for me. And I'm going to be down there on Miami Beach come December 31st. For Bubba's Beach Bash at the Fontainebleau Hotel.
And by Bubba, do you mean our former president, Bill Clinton?
Oh, Bill's been a friend of mine forever, ever. And he's always not been on the good list. He's been on the naughty list a few times.
On the naughty list, yes, he has.
But
we've read about it.
Yes. But I'm going to be at Bubba's Beach Bash at the Fontainebleau Hotel on December 31st. And I can't wait to get into a hot tub because I got news for you, folks. It's cold up here at the North Pole, in case you hadn't checked it out. It's very cold.
Hey, Santa, I got a question for you.
Yes, Michael.
Mr. Korge over there is growing some stuff on his face over there. Do you think he has a chance for being a Santa for next year?
Well, truth be known, Michael, before he got involved in radio and television, he did come up to the North Pole, which is where I met him. And he was hanging around all day long, grabbing on my coat, wanting to audition to be a Santa Claus. And he's okay. I mean, he doesn't quite have the spirit 100%, but we gave him a tryout. He didn't do so well. That's why he's in radio and television.
Yeah, was I more of a bad Santa, more of a Billy Bob Thornton sort of Santa?
No, you weren't that bad. Billy Bob Thornton did a great job. As a matter of fact, he reminded me of an elf that I had, a couple of 100 years ago. His name was Roberto. He was a Mexican pool boy when I originally saw him. And Billy Bob did a great takeoff on that. I like that very much. By the way, my favorite Christmas movie.
I was going to ask you. My
favorite Christmas movie is not A Miracle on 34th Street, although that's very, very good. I like George C. Scott's Scrooge.
That's your favorite?
I love that movie. Well, George C. Scott was a very good friend of mine. And talk about somebody on the naughty list year after year after year. You can count on him.
Well, what about your favorite comedy movie? Would it be what's better, Scrooge by Bill Murray or Elf with Will Ferrell?
Well, Will Ferrell, I don't like. So that's out. I know you're wearing that silly hat. I don't know why, but he's wearing this silly hat. I watch your program every day from the North Pole. Actually, I thought a movie that I thought wasn't so much a comedy was the one with Tim Allen where he played Santa Claus, I think in 3 different movies, and he was very good. Now, here's the secret behind that. He didn't like playing Santa Claus at all. He took the money and ran. Now, tell me. Oh, that's a Santa Claus move, baby. Oh, and by the way, I have a very special gift for the University of Miami this year.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to be number 1 next year, unless you lose the first game to Alabama, which is probably what's going to happen. So, Oh, and by the way, Michael Miller, would you please tell your brother Grant he's on the naughty list again?
Well, he's been on that list for about 20 years.
Yeah, well, he runs around dressed as Santa here and there, and he doesn't put the whole regalia on, and that's not good, Michael. That's just
I'm going to remind him he needs to put on a hat.
He needs to put on. How does he get off of the naughty list?
Well, couple of hot dogs
from Art Betters.
I mean, they're the best hot dogs in all of South Florida. Make no mistake about that.
And Santa, I'm looking down at my phone here. We do have David Arbetter tuned in right now.
David Arbetter has the best hot dogs in South Florida.
Hey, David Arbetter, bring over some hot dogs over here today. Mix them up. Bring over 10 or 12 or 20.
Yeah.
Look at Michael. Look at
We're hungry.
And they say Michael's not Jewish. How about that?
Well, Santa.
Yes.
Before we let you go.
Yes, I've got a very busy. Do you know what it takes to put together Christmas Eve? No, you don't. That's why I asked the question.
They're Jewish. Of course they don't. What kind of question is that?
Well, I mean, what the heck? I figured Andy would at least answer that. By the way, Andy, you're still kind of on the naughty list for going to the Florida Gators. You really still kind of
No,
yeah, you're still on that naughty list.
I am.
Yes. You should have gone to the University of Miami. You would have got a better education, and you would have had more fun at the pool parties. I can tell you that right now, because right now, up there in Gainesville, they're freezing their butts off. I can tell you that right now. But before I go, and putting all seriousness aside, I just want to say to Michael, and I don't know your last name, sir, but I just want to say to you, Shalom. I hope Hanukkah was wonderful to you. I hope Hanukkah Harry was good to you, because I know Hanukkah Harry. He's a real good friend of mine. I've known Hanukkah for decades. I mean, decades. And by the way, I just wanted to say to all my friends in Miami Beach, please have a merry and happy and safe Christmas. Andy Korge, I love you. You know that?
Yes.
From the bottom of my heart. And to Michael Miller, I love you. You know that?
Hey, Santa, thanks for being here and for all your help.
What help? I didn't give any help until I get my hot dogs from Art Betters. That's when I get. That's when I get. And tell David I want chili. I used to go, and I still do, to a very famous hot dog place in L.A. Okay, and I'm not going to mention the name right now, but it's a very, very, very famous, called Pink's Hot Dogs. It's right on La Brea. Every celebrity in the world goes there. I knew Carol Burnett, and I knew Dean Martin. I know them all. But one thing I would just want to say. Merry Christmas to all of you in Miami. God bless you. And if for some reason Santa doesn't bring you what you want, hey, look at your husband or wife. It's not my fault. Okay? I just go on what they tell me, and that's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for God's sakes, after all, Andy, if I brought you what your wife told me to bring you, you'd be mad at me forever. I mean, after all, your wife is Cuban, you know, and she said to bring you a can of Goya garbanzo beans. I don't know. I mean, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
I eat those beans every day. It's nothing more than beans.
I got to fortify here. And listen, stop with the milk and cookies while you're at it, would you? I'm a grown man. A little liquid libation of the alcohol, scotch mostly, will really help me get through the night. It not only warms the tummy, but it gives Rudolph a little extra energy in the old red nose deal. All right.
Yeah, but doesn't that make it hard for you to fly?
Hey, buddy.
Get pulled over?
Santa doesn't get pulled over because the cops are afraid I'm going to put him on the naughty list and they'll get nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, Santa, listen, we're going to let you go now. I know you're super busy. Any other appearances today, or is this it?
This is it. I close down the shop. I get in there. I'm going to sleep for the next 24 hours and have some fun, maybe with Mrs. Claus before I go, you know, a little Christmas, la-di-da, la-di-da.
Keep it PG here, Santa.
But don't forget, Andy Korge, don't forget, December 31st, Bubba's Beach Bash at the Fontainebleau Hotel. And this year we're going to have some little chubby girls in their little thong bikinis. Oh, Santa cannot wait, baby. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to put me on the naughty list. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, thank you, Santa, for joining us here at Miami Community News.
Oh, I always love the Miami Community News with the Miller brothers and everybody there. God bless you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all the good stuff. And be at Bubba's, because we're going to have one heck of a bash.
Thanks, Santa. Well, there you go, man. So I guess he put it in perspective, and that's what Christmas is all about. It's about, you know, love. It's about sharing. It's about brotherhood. And listen, we've lived in a country, Michael, we live in a country that's been very divided for a while now. And, you know, maybe we could learn something during this holiday season, whether it's Hanukkah you practice, whether it's Kwanzaa, whether it's Christmas, whatever it is, you know, it's the time to remember that we're all one. We're all one country. We're all one world, you know, and we got to be good to our fellow man and try to find common ground, you know, and not be so divisive all the time. So I wish you guys, as Jews, you are Michael, the super Jew, apparently, according to our good friend here, Michael Miller. But I want to thank you guys for coming in. This is all obviously done in good, clean fun.
I want to do a shout out. Okay, want to say
please.
Thank you, Rabbi Felig and Rabbi Friedman from the Coconut Grove Chabad, Yossi Harlig from the Chabad on 87th Avenue, 112th Street. It's Chabad of Kendall and Pinecrest. Thanks for all your help through all the years. And I want to shout out to the Chabad of Palmetto Bay. And so thank you for everything you do for the communities.
Any shout outs you have, Michael, for anybody?
He did my shout outs.
He did.
Yep.
And by the way, Rabbi Yoshi's like Abraham, right? He has like 40 some odd kids or something.
As a matter of fact, his eldest just graduated for his law degree and a master's in finance. So my hat's off to the.
And that's his oldest. What about how old's his youngest?
The youngest, how old is his youngest, Michael?
This big.
2, 3.
Little.
It's crazy.
Little, yeah.
It's crazy. Well, God bless him. God bless everybody during this holiday season. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you do the right thing during this holiday season, and you know, be kind to your fellow human being. We're all together, as we said before. This is one country. This is one world, and we all need to be kind and giving and caring to one another, especially now during these incredibly hard times that we live in. So again, Michael, thank you so much for coming in today and joining me in this celebration of Christmas. And thank you, Michael Miller, and your brother Grant, for giving me and everyone else here a forum to you know, communicate ideas and thoughts to people out there that take the time to listen. So Merry Christmas to you. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate it with your family, celebrate it with lots of love, giving, and caring. Have a great holiday. We'll see you after the new year right here on the Andy Korge Show at Miami Community.